Yeah, the guys, it's Tom from Dolphin Productions. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Christmas episode of 2016. A few things coming up for you this very episode. We've got a YouTube spotlight, we've got 2 quick reviews, we've got a Q&A from you lovely people, giveaway announcement, and of course the obligatory highlights reel. First of all, I'd just like to take an opportunity to say thank you so much to everyone, every single one of you who has supported us over 2016. It's been a difficult year. A personal highlight of mine is EGX in September. It was absolutely fantastic to be able to go to a fantastic event and see some phenomenal YouTubers. I actually managed to talk to a few of you guys this year, which is absolutely brilliant. Not managed to do that in previous years. Shout out to T&C'S, Jamal, and Living Dead Zombie. You were absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to meet you guys again. Also, I actually got to go to my first gaming event, EGX, with Kaylee. Wonderful person, absolutely love her. Cannot wait to do loads more things with you. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We played so many good games as well. That really took me by surprise. Both Blue Pancake, Toby, myself, we played a lot of games that year, probably more than we have in most years. We did some revisits as well to some really cool people that we interviewed in 2015, and it was really nice to get a sense of the community that's building and the way that EGX is actually starting to take indie developers seriously, which is something that was kind of lacking the last couple of years. But now to our first feature, the YouTube Spotlight. The YouTube I'm highlighting is a very good friend of mine, a very good friend of Toby's, and I think for the amount of subscribers that he's got, he put a lot of effort into his videos. He does rants, he does reviews, he does gameplay videos, he does them all. And Ant801 Gaming, this is for you.
Hello YouTube and welcome to Ant801 Gaming. Let me first start this off with I'm very pleased, very pleased to say that it has changed a lot. Adam Jensen is back and he is badass as ever. Oh my god, yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a really smart chap. You know, I mean, it's hard to believe, but I'm not that intelligent. Oh, fuck off. I'm ducking. Shots fired. Oh, shit. Have you heard about this? Oh, you don't have that? Oh, well, you need to do this to get that. It's gonna be really great. You need to pre-order this. Ah, fuck this game. I'm done. Fucking cunt. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. It got a little bit heated there, but it was a lot of fun to do.
So yeah, that's what that guy does. Go show him some love, go drop a like, a subscribe to his YouTube channel, and there's some links in the description below that you may want to visit. He's a very interesting guy, he's a very switched on guy, he knows a lot about the industry, and if you ever want to talk to him about anything gaming related, that's the man to go to. We actually did a featured video together on his channel, and the link is now on the screen there somewhere. That's where it'll be, around here. On to our first game review. I promised you 2, they're going to be very short reviews, but basically one of the things I look forward to most Christmas time as a PlayStation game, it's the free games you get. They always release more good stuff, more quality games, stuff that you actually have to pay money for, unlike the free stuff they give you early in the year, which is indie developers. These are ones that are actually on their store for around about £15 to £20. So you're hoping for some quality content. And the first review is about Invisible Ink.
Ever since the success of XCOM, many games have tried to use XCOM's own unique twist on the turn-based gameplay on their own ideas. Invisible Ink's concept is actually really interesting, a spy game looking at a group forced underground and now fighting in their own way against an unknown corporation. Gameplay too sounds like a good mix, having to close doors behind you, peeking to see what's beyond, and avoiding guards and CCTV cameras. Hacking too adds a new unique gameplay twist, where using power obtained through hacking terminals, you then hack from credits, gain credits from the corporation to use on your own character upgrades, and to do main objectives and turn off CCTV cameras. Now, I loved XCOM and the way it utilised the turn-based system, and there are a lot of similarities between XCOM and Invisible Ink. For example, setting someone to Overwatch on XCOM will prepare your unit to shoot at a moving target, giving you a chance to do damage at the end of your unit's turn. Invisible Ink too has an ambush mode, which means any guard moving past them or through a doorway where your agent is will result in a non-lethal takedown. However, it's when you start combining all of these elements it starts to sort of fall apart. After the tutorial, for example, the mission objective, the credit hacking and the main objective all sort of like become blurred together. There's no real direction in telling you where your main objective is and what hacking each terminal will actually do. The no direction is increasingly more apparent and more of a problem when the increase in security awareness starts to kick in. After each turn, if you haven't accomplished your objective, the guard's awareness is ramped up, which means they're more aware of their surroundings. They'll start searching a little bit more, become a little bit more clever, and in the end more guards will spawn in if it gets to a certain point. Taking down guards too has a penalty, a countdown, meaning after 3 turns or 4 turns they will come back conscious and begin patrolling the same area. Moving the body means you have to take up an agent's turn and you can't move very far, and it's almost pointless because that guard can then retrace those steps almost instantaneously, and again the increased awareness will ramp up rapidly. So the lack of direction, the retracing of steps, increase in the awareness, more security, the new enemies, and I think it's like the 4th level where they have no information. Again, XCOM was very good at giving you subtle hints as to where to go, what new enemies will do by a little introduction maybe when you see them for the first time. Now there's sort of a new fear and a new way of approaching it and change your tactics, where in Invisible Inc you don't. In this level I spent 3 power hacks or 4 power hacks trying to hack this new drone, used it for a couple of turns, and then it went back to normal and started sussing out my agents. Invisible Inc has some great ideas, but it makes for a very, very frustrating experience, and after about 6 levels I just called it quits, because at one point the main figurehead of your corporation went,
"Would these missions work better if I drew you a map? You're going down there for a reason, not just to fumble around in the dark."
yes, that would be fantastic. So Invisible Inc, it gets the stuffing that's left at the bottom of the turkey when it's gone cold. It's not great, but if you have the patience you may well get a kick out of it.
So yeah, that was Invisible Inc. Not a great start to the 2 reviews. Hopefully the next one we'll pick up later in the show is a lot better. Now though, I'm going to turn my attention to you lovely people. I asked about a week or so ago for you guys to send me some questions for a Q&A of this very video, and I got some great questions. I'm going to run through a few of them now. Sorry if I don't get to yours, but we've got a lot of stuff to cover this episode. So without further ado, Chris Marder Gaming has asked, what's the most disappointing game of 2016 that I myself have played? It's a tough question, but for its very beginnings, its very origins, the very start when I played this game, No Man's Sky. It didn't deliver on a lot of stuff that it promised, and for me and a lot of other people it was very disappointing. The lack of communication between the developers, lack of communication to us, the player, the lack of development it showed. It got very samey, very boring, the constant reminders to top up your oxygen, your supplies. It wasn't what was promised, pretty much. And it could have done a lot better, and I think the latest update that they released for it, where it's actually introduced survival mode, where it's introduced an element of survival, something they should have had at the start, where it actually felt like you're on a hostile planet, actually felt like you were under threat rather than just constant updates on your resources. So yeah, No Man's Sky, hopefully it's going to improve, but for my most disappointing game it has to be that, purely on release. Another question here from Space Kitson, thank you very much for getting in contact. Let's go with the simple. What decided you to have your name? Dolphin Dive Pro is an odd name. It is an odd name. It kind of, well, first of all, it was something that Blue Pancake and Toby told me that must change. At the very start, my YouTube name was Tom000123, and it was it's my PSN gamer tag. Feel free to add me on that. It's my PSN tag. They said we need something short, snappy, something a little bit more professional, and the one thing that around that time was Black Ops 2 was the Dolphin Dive. So people were dolphin diving everywhere. It was quite a fun thing to say, and instead of just having Dolphin Dive, we decided to stick Productions on the end because it sounded relatively professional. Of course, Twitter tags only allow you a certain number of characters, so Dolphin Dive Pro sounded about right, hence Dolphin Dive Productions, and hopefully that's the name we're going to stick with. We got a professional logo done by a good friend of ours, and yeah, it's kind of just stuck. Sakuraba1982 asks, what does Joe Average Gamer really care about VR? Expensive hardware and looking like a knob in front of the TV. Now, VR for me was always something that I thought, I'm talking about PlayStation VR, it's the one that I've had the most playtime with. I have used Oculus, I have used the HTC. Both of them required a lot, the Oculus and the HTC Vive required a lot of space, especially the Vive. It gives you the most immersive experience, but if you don't have the space to have the rigging and to have the cameras and to have everything else like dotted around, it's not really for you. Oculus Rift, expensive. If you're willing to spend that much, get the Vive. It's a little bit more comfortable. gives you a lot more interactivity, a lot more in-depth immersion. For the cheapest one, however, the PlayStation VR, obviously you need a PlayStation 4 camera and things like that. There are a load of bundles out there that you can get that still keeps it below the Oculus Rift. It is the cost of a normal console, around $349. For what it is, there's a lot of titles out there already that are supported by the VR. Games like Rush of Blood, there's Assassin's Creed thing coming towards it, the Batman game is absolutely fantastic. Lots of little silly things like Job Simulator, Head Teacher, or Headmaster, things like that that really give you a lot of stuff for the family as well. It's not just 18 shooters anymore that hardcore consoles have been known for. The VR gives you a lot of family fun as well, a lot of child-friendly games that otherwise are lacking in the console industry. Yes, it is expensive. It's something that you will have to use a lot, and there's going to be lots of titles coming out for. So yes, while it's expensive, I'd say it was probably worth it. The average Joe gamer, probably not. You're going to need to spend a little bit more time playing it, making the most of it as those titles come out. So yeah, it's worth it, but research it before you buy it. Katality asks, the most anticipated game of 2017. Oh, there's a number out there. I'm thinking PlayStation exclusives, especially Detroit, a game that took got my attention when it released from its E3 trailer. Multiple choice, multiple paths, multiple avenues. You're a synth detective. Each time you make an action or you talk to a suspect, it changes the path that you go down, and it got into a lot more depth than Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls did, and that's what really piqued my interest. Same with LA Noire, made great steps in this direction, and I think Detroit's going to be the level above that, where it actually offers you more than just 4 or 5 endings. It's going to offer you around about 10, 15, 20 endings per scenario, which is going to be one of the most in-depth path choice games we've come across, and if done correctly, graphically looks impressive. If done correctly and has an engaging storyline, you are really going to think carefully and really care for those choices. Another game that I'm really looking forward to that actually hands-on experience within EGX, Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, fantastic concept. What happens after the apocalypse? Well, humans die out. But what happens when we evolve again and are thrust into a land with stuff that we don't know how it works? How do we adapt ourselves to that new environment? And with all this technology lying around that we don't know how to use, how do we adapt? What are all these monstrous mechanical creatures walking around? As of yet, the trailer and all the gameplay I've seen and the gameplay I've played offers no insight at all into what is going on, and I think that only adds to the mystery. Everyone nowadays is sick and tired. Myself included, going this way, where we're sick and tired of just multiplayer games. We want a decent single-player campaign, one that engages us, the game, the one that keeps us playing it. Not since The Last of Us have I actually played, or Uncharted 4 have I actually played a decent single-player story. I want to come back to that. Detroit, Horizon Zero Dawn, those would probably be my 2 picks for 2017. We picked up, I asked the worst game that I played. I answered No Man's Sky. I may as well answer the best one. It's kind of a hard one, but Battlefield 1 is, for me, one of the best games I've played this year. Purely because it's taken it back. The online shooter, the modern shooter, it's taken it back away from that, what Call of Duty and Modern Combat and Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3 have done. It's taken it away from that and gone right back to the roots of Battlefield 1. Basic warfare. Ground infantry warfare. And for me, it nailed it spot on. It's one of the most fun multiplayer games. It's one I'm still playing a lot of today. And if you play Battlefield on your own PlayStation, you want a squad, just hit me up, add me, Tom00123, and we can actually play some games together. But that for me has got my community back into playing online shooters together, and that's why it's my top game of 2016.
Stories: The Path of Destinies is the second free game for December 2016. The game takes place in a world occupied by animals fighting in 2 distinct groups, rebels and the generic evil or conquering king. The main character, Renato, is a retired pirate who ends up saving a book of destinies. Now, the first playthrough can be a little bit confusing. You have a choice to make at the beginning which impacts on the story and how the game plays out, and you have no indication as to how your choices are affecting the gameplay until the very end. The fighting controls are reminiscent of Batman. Mash the square button and an occasional enemy foe will flash up with a sword, warning you of an incoming attack, giving you time to block and counter. Chests placed at red lit intervals and in secret locations across the map give you resources needed to upgrade weapons and unlock new ones, which in turn allow you to unlock different corresponding coloured doors, which refreshes each playthrough and gives you a different path, an optional path, through each reoccurring level. A fairly in-depth ability tree gives you an opportunity to learn skills that add new dimensions to combat that come in useful when the game throws new enemies at you, and it becomes particularly intense when multiple enemies of different types are on the same fighting map, and it gets a little bit intense and you have to really learn how to use those skills. Combine all this with the main game mechanic itself, the book. After each playthrough, and depending on what path you chose, you learn absolute truths, which are themes that are constant throughout each playthrough. Now, no spoilers, but using these truths you can plan ahead and try and work out the best route through, or as I'm going to do, try and find every single story branch. At the end of each chapter you get a book with a corresponding title detailing how you played it through. The narrator that voices over the adventure is funny, light-hearted, and strongly reminds me of the Stanley Parables, creates an enchanting gameplay experience that perfectly encapsulates what can be achieved with a brilliant idea and pulling it off perfectly. Story's Path of Destinies gets the top of the tree for me.
So yeah, that was Story's Path of Destinies. Like I said in the video, really interesting concept. Probably a game I'll be playing long after Christmas is over. I want to find all those paths, all those destinies, and ultimately find the correct one and get the best finishing ending to that story. So without further ado, on to probably the bit that gripped your attention most. We have not been renowned for doing well with our giveaways. Technical issues, videos corrupting last year meant even though we filmed the actual giveaway results, we had everyone in the bag and we did everything like that, and we had set prizes set aside for everyone. It just didn't work out, and there's no point filming it again in the middle of February. So this year we've come prepared. 5 of these bad boys will be making their way towards 5 lucky winners. All you have to do to enter, simply in the comments below type giveaway and your favourite game of 2016, and I will put you into a hat. We'll do the draw early New Year and get these sent to you as soon as we can. Sorry for previous giveaways. If you've tuned in before, you probably recognise the shape of these bad boys, but if you guaranteed yourself one, or guaranteed a chance of getting one, please follow those terms and conditions in the description below, and hopefully you'll win one of these. Now, I think it's come to the part of the video which you all come to know and love, the obligatory highlight reel.
Ah! Awesome. Yeah. Fashion move talk.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't fuck around, does it?
It really doesn't! Bloody Judex Gundu.
Come on! No!
Whee! Oh, look at that. I can solve a puzzle! And now Toby's injured. You're fucked, Toby.
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Yes! Oh! Driven by Deathclaw. Oh! Top breath, you hero!
No! Oh, okay. So low. Where am I?
We're gonna do this, Toby.
Oh. So, what the fuck? Yes! What the fuck?
Guys, it's Tom from Dolphin Dive Productions. We are back at EGX for yet another year of exciting gaming awesomeness.
Salty little pretzel.
So yeah, that was pretty much our year of 2016 gaming YouTube history in one short clip. So yeah, all that remains to be said is have a fantastic Christmas and have a brilliant New Year, and I hope 2017 is filled with a lot more happiness and goodwill. 2016 has been one hell of a roller coaster, so thank you so much for sticking with us, thank you so much for getting involved, and I hope I can continue to expect your support in 2017. We've got some great things planned for the channel, great things planned for videos, so it's going to be a really, really good year. And the best bit of news is our Machinima partnership ends in February, so we have free reign to do whatever we want, and we've got some big ideas on that front. So guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for watching throughout the year, and just have a good one. Take care guys, thank you, bye.